So I saw this video on my feed, and video is called "Is WoW Dragonflight Still Good a month later?" I would say yes and no. It's about the same as it was a month before, you know, minus you don't need to do all the world content anymore. People are still rep grind doing professions. But is it about as good as Shadowlands? Yeah, I would say yeah, because okay, what did you really have to do during Shadowlands? You would log in on like a week, like let's say, you know, week, a random Tuesday, whatever. You would have your dailies. Sorry, you have your weeklies that you need to do, like the progression of your covenant. You're gonna do your 2 Togus rounds. So okay, you spent an hour to 2 hours of doing your mandatory power scaling. And then what is the game consisting of? Mythic Plus, farming, or PvP, or whatever, if it's time for raid, you raid. The game doesn't really offer you anything other than that. I mean, people will be, oh, but you can do the profession, do the world. Look, unless you're a completionist, most of it doesn't matter to you. Unless there's a specific cosmetic in it, you're not going to do it. Because it's really not fun doing reps in WoW. It's a very mundane, boring ass fucking grind. Like it's not fun, it's not interactive. It's not like usually there's like a cool story in it. All the story that you're gonna get from it, you would usually just get from Wowhead cinematic. Like, okay, whatever, that's cool. Right? Like the Asera stuff that unlock it like Renown 14 or some shit. It's like, whatever, who cares? Right? It's like I saw it on Wowhead, I'm not gonna farm out this rep or this Renown. So is WoW still good? Listen, if you like Mythic Plus, raiding, and PvP in WoW, it really doesn't matter what state the whole game is in. For you, WoW is good. If you didn't quit during Shadowlands, like was like 9.1, 9.2, if you didn't quit then, WoW is good for you regardless. You really don't care. You have absolutely no standards for the game. So in that regard, yeah, WoW is good. If you have any standards, if you're tired of the mundaneness, the uselessness of this just endless grinding, this endless treadmill, that everything you're going to do now is going to be irrelevant, right? That your character is maxed out at 70 and there's absolutely nothing to progress once you reach the max level, except farming out Mythic Plus for gear, doing PvP for gear, and doing raiding for gear, right? If you enjoy that content, then by all means, the game is good. But if you want to get shit, like you want to get rewarded, you like there's like actual achievements to like stuff you really want to get out of the game, like something that makes you feel like, man, this was worth my time. This experience was great. This story was fantastic. This is something that has to do with my character or my class or my race or something like that. Something that makes you involved in the game. You're not going to get it in WoW. Okay, WoW is just giving you like a platform to just do the same thing over and over, and there's like nothing really to do in the game, right? I play Guild Wars 2 now, so much shit to do, right? The world is pretty much alive. You have the, what do you call it? You have the massive world bosses that you can do daily. They have like a 2-hour respawn timer, basically 2-hour events. You have the fractals, which I didn't do yet. You have raids, you have jumping puzzles, you have the PvP, you have the world v world, you have the ranked PvP, so you have like the BGs, then you have the, I guess, ranked BGs. I haven't gotten to rank 20 yet, so I don't know what they're like, right? But there's so much to look forward to, and obviously I am biased because I just started playing the game, so I wouldn't know much, and like everything is new and exciting. But for example, the event that was happening for Winter's Day, oh my god, man. There was so much shit to do. Like, you could just spend hours doing events that mean pretty much nothing for your character progression. Anyways, talked long enough about that. Let's see what this guy says. Is WoW Dragonflight still good a month later?
Hey, how's it going? It's me, Wowcrendor, and welcome back to Wowcrendor Talks in front of a shitty green screen. Today, we're talking about Dragonflight because it's been about a month. Believe it or not, it's been about a month, and I know we always say, you know, come back in like 3-4 weeks, and then let's see how that WoW expansion is doing, right? That's the very common thing. So I think
it's been more. It's been a month since Mythic Plus released. It's been a month since the season started, but it's been like 6 weeks since. Because I quit like 2 weeks ago.
That
was week 4.
Around when I quit. Shadowlands, I think I was still enjoying it, but it was starting to the cracks were starting to show through, right? But with Dragonflight, I'm still having fun, and I've been trying to figure out why, and I think I've figured out the reasons. So I think in Shadowlands, for example, you know, I was still playing, still doing my thing. We were raiding, you know, we were having fun raiding, and then it slowly started to show that it didn't want me to keep playing. It felt like, you know, it was hitting that point of, all right, you're ready to start really grinding out the boring parts. You ready to go to Torghast and run this like 800 times? Ready to go to the Maw constantly?
Didn't have to run Torghast 800 times, just had to run it twice on each character. Torghast afforded you like no rewards after the first two. Once you unlock the max level. So, and the max level was unlocked account wide. No, it wasn't actually, but never mind. It's like Torghast, in my opinion, was like, I understand people didn't like Torghast. I also didn't like Torghast after like a couple of months as well, because I was grinding the fuck out of it because I was actually enjoying it. But having it mandatory, obviously not good. But if you think about it, aside from like, you know, in retrospect, how much time did you really spend Torghast per character, right? How many characters do you even have? You have 2 or 3 characters at most. Usually, like the average player has 2 characters really that they play. Okay, you're gonna run Torghast. That's on 2 characters. That's about an hour to an hour and a half of your time for the week. In retrospect, again, it's not that much time consumption. However, the feel that you get from having to do it is shitty. But I can't say that Torghast was the reason Shadowlands sucked. Okay, I would say Shards of Domination was a very big reason why Shadowlands really fucking sucked, and the whole philosophy of the WoW team that hasn't changed in Dragonflight, by the way, really sucked. But yeah, let's go.
And walk around and do the same stuff over and over. And
what do you think Mythic Plus is?
No, I don't.
What do you think Mythic Plus is?
And then even if you wanted to, it's like, all right, well, you're capped at this point for the week, right? It was like the time gating was just so bad. So it was like
There's time gating in Dragonflight too. Aside, like, what is not time gated in Dragonflight that wasn't time gated in what's it called? In Shadowlands, right? Sorry, what was time gated in Shadowlands that is not time gated in Dragonflight? Raids are time gated, right? It's like you have you know, chance per boss for the week, which is super dumb. I think like if you got your loot, then you're locked for the boss, kind of like how Final Fantasy does it. That's a way better system. What else do we have? The Vault is technically a weekly time gate, but again, it's like an extra loot thing. Professions, Renown is basically time gated because you get massive renown and reputation for a weekly quest, way more than you could for like just grinding it out. Some people are grinding the fuck out of it and barely progressing. Obviously, like, yeah, you would be ahead of others, but is it worth it, the amount of time you spend? No, right? What else? Really extremely low drop chance on event stuff for like professions like the Lariat, right? Can't call Lariat time gated, but you know. Well, how about the Spark of Inspiration? That's fucking time gated for no reason. That's like 8 weeks until you get the 5, and then you can unlock being able to find in other places. Why is there an 8-week time waiting for Spark of Inspiration? Spark of Inspiration, like, it doesn't make any sense.
It was like they wanted you to play, but only to a certain point. But then it just,
so
I didn't
so
even
does Dragonflight
anyway. You know, it hit that point. And so with Dragonflight,
it does the same thing.
There's a few things that have really kept my interest. One of them has been the alt friendliness of Dragonflight. The fact
I would say it's very alt friendly if you just enjoy PvP. Outside of that, it's not too alt friendly at all.
That you get to like 10 renown and then it doubles on your alts makes it like fantastic. Like, it makes it so much more fun.
Why does it have to double? Just, it's all cosmetic anyways. Just make it be account bound. That's not alt friendly if it doubles. What is double? If something takes you 10 weeks to grind, what is double gonna do to you? Oh, it's gonna take me 5 weeks? Oh, because that's so much better. You already did it.
To do stuff on your alts, you're like, dude, I'm getting like double rep. And if you get Dark Moon Fair, you're getting like super rep, right?
The 10% more.
Once you hit, was it 20? then your main can also get rep from that. I forget what it is, but well, whatever character you hit that on, right? In fact, I've leveled 2 characters to 70. I didn't even level 2 to 70 in Shadowlands because I was like, I didn't really want to level through Shadowlands again. But like the leveling experience is so much more open and free. So like, you know, you can
Yes, you can level a lot faster in Dragonflight than you could in Shadowlands, a lot better. The questing technically is a bit better, but honestly, dungeon grinding or just find like some one of the techniques to level in like 2 hours, like the elite farming with the Torghast orbs area. That one has a ton of XP if it hasn't been nerfed yet. Yeah. Okay, you can level faster. I leveled 11 fucking characters to 70. I played 2 of them, right? And I was like, once I played 2 of them, I was like, you know what? At this point in the game, where I'm just, this was like week 2 when I pretty much already like had enough. Week 2 of Mythic Plus, so the week 4. I was like, I'll just do one, like the highest key that I have, which is like a 15 and a 14 on 2 of my characters. And I was like, fuck it. I'm like done. And I tried to play the 3rd character, and unless it was PvP, man, just trying to get it to 370, the amount of time it takes for you to even get to like a decent item level to start doing Mythic Plus is atrocious. You can do all the world content you want, which is hours. Okay, you can do all the, like, you can't even do the professions because you need the spark of inspiration for actual gear. It's like, why? Like, yeah, it's not very alt friendly to start off. I'm sure it's gonna be more alt friendly in 10.1, but right now, unless you're doing PvP, the game is not very alt-friendly. Oh, but, you know, it's more alt-friendly than Shadowlands. You don't have to do the systems. Yeah, no shit, but Shadowlands is like such a low fucking bar. Look at any alt-friendly game in reality. Final Fantasy 14, not alt-friendly, but it's like one guy can do everything. Guild Wars 2, you literally get fucking... You can throw levels at an alt. You can share most of your gear with an alt. Okay? You can do PvP at level 2 basically, like, and become level 80, so you can check how the character even plays at max level, so you don't have to waste the time to get to max level. ESO is also not alt friendly, but you know, in a sense it's more alt friendly than WoW. Leveling to 50 is not that hard. What do you call it? The champion points are account bound. The only thing that's really not alt friendly with ESO is in reality is the mount skills. Everything else is like pretty alt friendly.
Can log on and be like, you know what? I'm just going to do some world quests to level up today. I'm going to go and do some of the story quests. I'm going to go.
I honestly feel like people in WoW do not understand what alt friendly means. That's the thing. It's like, I really feel like people who play WoW do not understand what alt friendliness means. Is it more alt friendly than Shadowlands, the least alt friendly expansion? Yeah. Is it more alt friendly than BFA, the second least alt friendly expansion? Yeah. Every expansion of WoW has been non-alt friendly. I can think of one expansion that was alt friendly, just alt friendlier than the next worst thing, but it was never, the game has never been alt friendly since Classic. To level to 60, way too long. You know, TBC, what was alt friendly about TBC? You have to redo your what's it called? Your attunements. What was alt friendly with Wrath? Honestly, Wrath probably would be considered one of the more alt friendly because the amount of XP and leveling was pretty fast. But, you know, and they allowed you to fly at, 77 or something if you buy the book instead of 80. But it's like, again, is it really alt friendly? No, it's not.
Do some.
You have to go through a lot of shit.
Do a dungeon. Like, there's so many different ways to level, it feels like. And I think as well with Dragonflight, it feels like I'm still exploring, which is weird to say like a month into the expansion, but I legit still have that vibe of like, I am still exploring this.
What are you exploring?
Continent. Like, it feels weird to even say that, but it truly does feel like that. And I think because of how big these zones are and how massive everything
They're
is,
really not that big.
you know, I'm still unlocking like the waypoints. I'm still you know, finding different little treasures all over. I haven't gotten all the treasures, you know. There's just like so many things. And then, you know, being like, hey, you know what, because I can level all my alts, maybe I do want to level a druid, right? My druid's at like 67.5 right now, and like maybe I'll level my priest. Like, it feels very
The question is, what do you want to do with that once you reach max level? Okay, yeah, you can level them to 70. Cool. But what are you going to do with it? If you're not going to play them, if you're just going to do world content, you're not going to do any competitive shit, then Shadowlands is just as good for alt leveling. BFA is just as good for alt leveling because you don't care about the end game stuff. Then what's the difference?
Open and freeing for... and then, you know, not really that much time gating going on. There's like some time gating, but not as much as it used to be, right?
Sure.
And it feels a lot more casual, I guess, is like to really sum it up. And I think that's actually better.
It is extremely casual to the point where, like, if you're a hardcore player, you might as well not really play it. You might as well do like the bare minimum and just get the max reward. If you play hours on end in WoW, you are an extremely non-efficient player. Once you reach your Mythic plus 20s, just, you know, just do your 8 Mythic plus 20s and log out for the week, log in for raid. That's really what the game... This is the problem with WoW. This is what becomes of the game. If you're a non-casual player, the most efficient way for you to play after like week 3 or 4 is to log in for your raid, which is like, you know, 6 to 9 hours a week, basically. You log in for your raid times. You do your Mythic Plus, like the 8 Mythic Pluses, and maybe you, like, if you really want to be efficient, you also do your PvP, and that's it. You log out for the week, and you don't play the game. The game actually tells you, stop playing me, but keep paying the sub, because this is the max rewards you will get. From here on out, you're just trying hard for almost no benefit. Come back next week, do it all over again on a Tuesday. You literally can have 7 alts, and each one of them just play on like a different day, like Paladin on Tuesday, the Death Knight on Wednesday, Warrior on Thursday, and it's like you can get everything done except the raid, right? Because it tells you not to play the fucking game. It's not efficient.
I think it's better for the game for it to go like that, because I think whenever you talk to people about WoW, it's like, oh, I play this big chunk. They're like, oh, and then the middle of the expansion always sucks, right?
Yeah.
But a part of that's because everybody does everything, and then they're done doing everything, right?
Because it's not fun to do anything. People are rushing through the content because they don't want to do the content anymore. They just want to get the max rep. They're not enjoying it. If you look at all the rep quests, how you do them, they're boring as fuck. They're all the same. They're like almost the same as like fucking Wrath quests. They're boring as shit. There's nothing interesting about the quests, how to get rep, how to level up your renown. It's a very boring experience. So people just like, fuck it, I'll just rush through this so I don't have to play it.
And the only things left to do are the things you don't really want to do unless you're like, you know, hardcore grinding out the game or something. So you're like, I'd rather just go play something else. But when you make the game so open and, you know, freeing to like play how you want to play, right? You can play.
But you really don't have the play how you want to play unless you're super casual. If you want high-end gear, there's only specific ways you can play, and the world means absolutely nothing for you. If you're super casual, again, like, making the game for super casuals is not necessarily a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But the game right now is extremely fucking super casual. But super casual also doesn't keep people going. It's extremely unfriendly for people who are casual to do Mythic Plus, especially on the higher keys. Because it's way too much time investment. Raids are way too much time investment. LFR is a joke, gives you absolutely no rewards, like fucking, you know, Mythic 0 gear level, right? So you want to do normal raids. Normal raids is a massive time investment, right? So like the only casual thing you can really do in this game is the world content, which is like bare minimum normal raid tier rewards. But it's like the game is not very welcoming to do like the more intense content. Mythic Plus, in my opinion, up to plus 10 should be so fucking easy for people who are doing 20s. Like, it should be a joke, because people who are not good at the game, who are super casuals, should be able to do up to plus 10s with a bit of difficulty. But a person who is like usually doing 20s to 25s, and eventually probably in this experiment will be doing 30s, at the beginning of the expansion, doing up to +10, not included because Thundering was a pain in the ass, but like at least Mythic +2 to Mythic +9 should be a fucking joke. That's what it should be. Like Mythic +2 to 9 should literally be an introduction. That's how what, in my opinion, should be. Yeah, it awards gear, you just want easy gear. I don't want easy gear. I want people to be able to access the content. But right now, going into a Mythic Plus with people who have never done Mythic Plus is a fucking shit show. I was pushing on week 2 +15s, and I failed a +4 with a group that had 3 people that was like their first or second Mythic Plus. How the fuck? That's not fun. Because these people just don't understand mechanics.
So you can do that, whatever. Then it allows you to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe today I'll hop on my alt and level for like an hour, right? And make like a...
That's not content.
30-40% towards maxing him out. Maybe I'll try to get this profession up. Maybe I'll just go explore and do some...
This is like... The reason his reasoning is like so faulty is because you could do this on Shadowlands too. You could do this in BFA and people say they're not alt friendly. Like, what was stopping you from, well, I'll log in for an hour on an alt and just level? What stopped you in Shadowlands from doing that? What stopped you in BFA? What stopped you in Legion? Right? It's like, you clearly don't have goals for these characters in mind, so it's like, who cares? Well, there are no endgame systems you need to care about. Why would you care about them if all you care about is leveling to 70? Why would you care about essences, corruption, and all that stuff? That makes no sense.
World quest and do some other stuff. Maybe you'll like do some like, it just feels like it's kind of open-ended to how you want to play it, and it's a lot more play at your own pace.
No, it's not.
And now with the new patches coming out where they're going to be updating the game more often,
the roadmap is, I mean, it's a good thing they have a roadmap that they're sharing, but the roadmap itself is kind of a joke. Aside from like the 0.1 patch, which gives you the exact amount of content that a 0.1 patch always gives you, though technically I think this one actually has a bit less because there's nothing to fix as much, like no systems to fix and no catch-up to just throw at you. The 0.03 and 0.07 don't really get like, there's no content there. Oh, some more UI fixes? Yeah, because that's a patch content. That's something everyone really cares about. Oh, the trade thing, like a few cosmetics for some currency. It's like, okay, cool. I mean, technically that's content. That is not really content because it just gives you a shop with currency that you can get from the content you're already doing. So it's not really content. It just gives you something to kind of get from the stuff you're already doing. So it's not really adding anything, right? Just letting you spend something on something, but it's not really the content you actively go and do. Right? So it doesn't, like, they really didn't add any content aside from 0.1 patch.
I think that just kind of feeds into that mindset of like, you know, playing at a casual pace over a long period of time is better than just playing all at once and then being like, I guess I wait for the next big patch months later, and then you come...
But you will. But that's exactly what's happening. That's why already, like, was like 50% of people stop playing Mythic Plus. Right? They log in, they do their Mythic Plus, like, for the weekly, and they log out. That's exactly what's already happening. Because that's how stupid the fucking loot system is in WoW right now. 40 minutes for a 40% chance to get an item from a Mythic Plus is atrocious. You spend so much time trying to get into a Mythic Plus by the time you do it, and then you also don't get loot for it. On multiple runs, there are people I've played with some guy, 8 runs in a row, he didn't get one piece of gear. And sometimes, especially when you're in the higher item levels, you will spend 20 runs without getting any gear. Not that you're not getting any gear, you're not getting anything useful. So yeah, the loot system is fucking dog shit. Yes.
Come back, and then it's like, I guess I wait. It's, you know, it's just big chunk instead of just like a long period of time where you're just kind of, you know, chilling out, having a good time.
You're not chilling out having a good time because there's nothing for you to do, because you know that it's not worth it for you to spend 20 plus hours doing Mythic Pluses and get absolutely nothing for it, except that, well, the vault should probably provide something. So you log in for your raid. This is like, if anyone played season 4, the beginning of season 4 was actually like a very active. I was logging into WoW 2 months before the about 2 or 3 months after season 4 came out. I think it was 2 months after season 4 came out. My guild, no matter when I logged in, one time I even logged in 20 minutes before their raid starts because they were still raiding. There was one person online. They would still all log in for the raid. But there's absolutely nothing to do outside of the raid schedule. It became a fucking job. For many people, WoW is a fucking job. It's like something you do on a schedule. Okay, Tuesday, Thursday, 9 p.m., raid time, 3 hours out of my day, do the raid, go to sleep, maybe do a Mythic Plus after, right? Sunday, optional raid. Obviously, no one's gonna show up because who's gonna level an alt in Shadowlands? Like, you're fucking crazy, right? What you think is gonna be different in Dragonflight, leveling an alt, right? It's like, okay, you got to 70, but the treadmill to get up to that loot, unless someone carries you, is fucking atrocious.
So that's how I felt, and I've really enjoyed it. And I still gotta get a bunch of mounts. I gotta, there's still a bunch of stuff I gotta do. I still gotta get my.
See, this is the type of guy who already lost. He's just lost in the Matrix. He's completely been. I won't say brainwashed, but it's like he's been programmed. In fact, all these like red pill words, I don't want to use them, but he's been programmed by WoW basically to be content with no content. Why would you farm mounts that you're never gonna use? Oh, because I'm a completionist. The fuck does that mean? Why do you want to be a completionist in WoW? Like, why do you care about completionism in WoW if you don't even play the game? Right? It's like, why would I care about getting transmogs for my rogue if I never play my rogue? I wouldn't. Right? The only character that has a lot of transmogs for me is the Paladin because I actually enjoy playing the Paladin. If I don't enjoy playing even my Paladin, guess what? No content in the world, like no transmogs, no mounts, which are basically transmogs, it's cosmetics really, are gonna change that. It's not like there's any point getting 500 mounts. It's not like there's any point getting 800 mounts, 1,000 mounts, whatever the numbers are. There's no point in it aside from saying I have all of this time that I spent getting absolutely nothing. The only time that there is a point is because you really care about your character and the world. But when the world doesn't care about you and tells you, hey man, just log in for 2 hours out of your week and do this shit that you don't even enjoy just so you can get them, a bit more loot and then log out because there's nothing for you to do in this game. It's like, it's fucking absurd, man.
My Renown up, with
and also,
things,
by the way,
so.
I am not hating on this guy for liking the game. Good for him. I just don't understand what he likes about the game. Because there's nothing to like right now. There's nothing for you to do in the game that is actually fun, aside from being on an endless treadmill.
Let me know down in the comments section below how you're enjoying the expansion, if you agree with me, or if I missed anything. So I'm sure there's some things I missed, are you still enjoying it? Why are you enjoying it? Do you agree that it's a little more freeing and open-ended, exploration-wise and all that? So let me know. But overall, a month later, I still stand by the fact that I think this is my favorite expansion since Wrath of the Lich King. I actually think I enjoy it more than Legion, which is crazy, because Legion was pretty fun for me. So, thanks for watching.
No, I think you just don't remember how good Legion was in the first few weeks when you just started it off. I'm not saying it was good because of all the RNG and the legendary bullshit that happened and the AP grind, but because it was new and because the builds were so different, they changed completely how characters played from WoW to Legion. Everything was new in Legion. Everything. Dragonflight is nowhere near as good as Legion was at the beginning. Right? In retrospect, it is, but in the sense of like how interesting everything in Legion was because it was new. Also, you had the Suramar campaign. Also, you had the Suramar single player like crawler with like where you level up those fucking idiots that eventually meant absolutely nothing for the story. It's like so dumb. But leveling them up, that was another something you could do as extra content. There's so much shit to do in Legion. Mythic Plus was also new, so everything was interesting about that, right? It had a lot of story relevance. Like, the lore was so fucking good. You really cared about the Legion. You like, this was the epilogue of a massive fucking story. So in all aspects, Legion was way superior. Even with all the problems of AP grind and legendaries and shit like that, Legion was so much better, right? Just the feel of the game was so much better. Dragonflight is offering absolutely nothing. It just took away a lot of features and called it a success.
Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you haven't seen the latest pointless top 10s, I'll put them here. There's also me playing WoW GeoGuessr. That's been a lot of fun. If you haven't seen any of those, they're all...
All right. Cool. Anyways, that's the video. This is Wowcrendor. And, yeah, I definitely don't agree with him on almost anything, but it is what it is. I'm going to leave him a comment regarding some stuff that I mentioned here, but yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Nah, not peace. Take care.